The online speaking mini lesson. Another very fundamental and essential function is that of description. What you are doing when you are describing or explaining something to a listener is that you are presenting a color photograph to a person who either was not there at the time or does not know what that thing is. Naturally, it doesn't have to be a thing. It could just as well be a person, an idea, a place, whatever. But as the listener does not know it, you have to present it in a way that they can get a complete idea of what it was like. In other words, a photograph for the ears. The simplest way of adding descriptive detail is just to use adjectives to describe a noun and adverbs to describe how an action is performed. Even using these simple devices, a listener can get a clearer picture than from a sentence without them. For example, compare the simple sentence, "My friend is studying for her exam," with "My best friend is studying very hard for her difficult exam." The latter suggests that the speaker misses her best friend but recognizes that this exam is very important for her, and either of these points may be picked up by the listener and responded to. Adjectives can be used throughout any type of sentence. It is also useful to use the simple sentences "there is," "there are," and the verb "have," as it suggests description rather than activity itself. In describing a bar in a nightclub, you might want to say something like, "There is a long wooden counter and a large collection of bottles in a row behind the bar." And that immediately gives an image of the bar to the listener, a basic photograph of the bar. If you go on to describe the furniture, the layout, the type of people at the bar, and finally the atmosphere of the bar, it will be almost as if the listener knows the place, even if they have never been there. And you can find a further example of how to build up a photograph in the box. The degree of detail required depends on the subject being described and the listener's familiarity with it. On occasion, something that is new is sufficiently similar to something the listener does know that a simple "it looks like" type phrase should be sufficient. But generally, the more detail there is, there are more points being provided to the listener, which means, of course, that there are more opportunities for potential response.